when you're collaborating with someone and you have sort of like a creative partner and they come up with something so great that you're just like, well, this is cool.
Yeah.
And it gives you a bit of a motivation kick of going, oh, okay, well, I better come up with something good too.
Oh,
It sort of, creates a little bit of competition, which is always good. It's always healthy.
Hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of 30 Minute Call, proudly presented by the Canberra Theatre Centre. My name is Joe Gleeson and that was the voice of today's guest, Beth Stephen from kids band, the Teeny Tiny Stevies. This is a band that's made up of Sisters Byll and Beth Stephen. They originally made up the indie folk band, the Little Stevies, and then decided to try their hand at writing some music for kids. And it's gone pretty bloody well. Beth was just delightful to chat to and discuss the journey of the Teeny Tiny Stevies thus far. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Beth Stephen, this is your 30-minute call. Beth Stephen from the Teeny Tiny Stevies.
Hello everyone out there. hello.
How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks, Joe. I was just saying to you just momentarily ago that it's just so delightful to just scoot up to the bedroom upstairs whilst my partner and my son are downstairs. So I feel a bit lucky to sort of be talking to you right now.
Just have a bit of chill time. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So is it just you, your partner, and the 2-year-old at your place, did you say?
It is, and our cat.
And
so
the cat.
It's the four of us. Yeah.
Nice.
So we are obviously spending a lot of time together, as everyone in their own household are also.
Yes.
Which is good. Some days are great, and, you love spending all the time together, and other days are a struggle.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of the two.
Look, I can 100% feel that. We have a family of little people in our place, and I think Ash and my wife and I have sort of said in the past, oh God, it feels like I'm not spending enough time with them, and you have that parent guilt and you're running around doing all these things, and then all of a sudden you're living on top of each other and you're going, oh my God, this is crazy. You kind of have to...
I need some time out.
Yeah. It's like, what do you want, parents? Do you want them all the time, or you don't want them? Yeah, it's... I
know, they're very conflicting feelings, aren't they? You're sort of having very conflicting, contradictory thoughts all the time, I find.
Totally.
Yeah.
But you're not at the homeschooling stage. At least it's kind of learning through play, I guess, is at this stage. Yeah. Yeah,
look, I got to say that I feel I feel a bit fortunate, actually, that this is happening at, whilst my child is around the sort of nearly 2 mark, because he doesn't know what's going on.
No.
He's just, like, every day is just the same for him. Nothing's changed in his world, really.
Yeah, just living the dream.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Because I think, with older kids, there's obviously a lot more explaining to do. There's a lot of questions. So that's a whole nother, ball game, which I wouldn't be familiar with. I don't know how I would necessarily handle that.
Yeah.
So for a 2-year-old, it's just, as you say, it's play.
Yes.
It's just all play.
Yeah. Your sister Bill's got slightly older kids, I believe, so I guess they're going through a bit of a transition as well and doing a bit more of the sort of homeschooling stuff.
Yeah, so she's got one around sort of like kinder age, just before school, and then one in primary school.
Right.
So they're in the thick of it, which is, I mean, look, we don't talk every day, so I don't sort of get super regular updates on how it's all going. But look, I imagine, like everyone, there's been ebbs and flows.
Yeah, awesome.
With it all.
I really should bring in my 3 kids into the room and just get them to give you a big scream and cheer and applause, because you should be getting this right now at this part of the year. You should be touring. You should be out on the road bringing smiles and cheers into venues all over the place. But from a professional point of view, how has this sort of pandemic affected you? Has it been a bit hard?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess the arts industry was one of the first sort of industries to be affected with the sort of cancellation of gatherings of people over 500. So at that time, I think it was the week after we had just played Port Fairy Folk Festival, and And just within, a couple of days, everything changed. So we were sort of looking towards the next 6 weeks of having, the biggest shows that we've sort of ever done in the Teeny Tiny Stevies history so far, to not having any, which is the same situation for so many musicians and artists and people that work in the arts. But, that feels like a lifetime ago now, even though it was only a few weeks ago, because so much has happened and there's just been so many changes every week and so many new adjustments, I guess. And there's no sort of certainty going forward necessarily. So even though you continue to make plans based on, the current information that you've got, you still know in the back of your mind that things can change again, and things probably will change. And that's kind of hard, I feel, sometimes as humans, not having certainty to sort of focus on. I feel like that really sort of gets us through stuff a lot of the time.
Agreed, yeah.
So we and it was devastating, obviously, when all that happened at the start. Yeah. Obviously it had to happen, and for all of the reasons why it did happen. But, it doesn't change the fact that it's also a bit devastating when you put so much effort and time into something. But, they're all the normal emotions that you go through with anything that you've really committed to, something that you've committed and worked hard for.
Yeah.
But that's all right. We're rescheduling, we're working towards new plans. So fingers crossed.
Good on you. Awesome. And do you miss that performance, getting in front of the kids or even the adults, as the little Stevies?
Yeah, definitely. I actually, in the last probably week, it's kind of hit me in terms of just wanting to, you get the itch.
Yeah.
It's sort of, you get the itch of wanting to perform again. I've really been feeling it. There's just nothing quite like the feeling when you get to perform.
Awesome.
And sort of feel the vibe in a room with a lot of people who are all on board. You're all on board.
Yeah.
The same train. You're just like, let's do this.
Yeah.
It's sort of a feeling that's a little bit indescribable sometimes. Of course I miss that.
Yeah.
And, and the kids' shows particularly, there's just so much joy in the room all the time. It's kind of on another level because the kids are really loving it. And because the kids are loving it, all the parents are loving it. Because, you love seeing your kid having a great time and laughing and smiling. So you tend to do the same thing as well.
Yeah, it's just feeding off each other and how great.
It's great. It's really great.
And I'd love to know, have you had any moments when you've been in that room and it's all vibing and everyone's having a great time and there's smiles and there's just been a child that has invaded the stage and just started yanking cables out or kicking over mic stands or anything like that?
Well, there have been a couple of times, yes, where, and it's always, and to be fair, like it's always the little kids that, they don't understand yet. But, look, you do sort of have you keep your smile going whilst thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I hope nothing bad happens right now.
Yes. And where is the parent? Yeah.
Yeah. They're just having a great time.
Yeah, they're dancing with their other kids.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh God, that's brilliant. It must add, just that element of, you just never quite know what's going to go down at a kids show.
No, I guess you don't know. And it is funny, kids, they, even though they get so into things and they can get so obsessed with things, like all of us, they, at every show as well, after sort of, a certain amount of time, it doesn't turn into chaos, but it's like there's lots of movement.
Yes.
The kids are moving around, so it's sort of, they might start at the front of the stage, in the sort of mosh pit, and there's sort of, everyone sort of spreads out around the venue a bit more whilst everyone's sort of trying to control their little tribe.
Yeah.
So that's always quite funny as well. But, it's all just part of it. And we always sort of try to mention that during a show as well, just to sort of, get parents on, to feel ease about if they've got to chat or talk or, move away and that type of thing. It's just all normal and it's all cool.
Nice. Good on you. And it's the beautiful thing about kids shows from possibly a performance point of view, but from a parent's point of view, they can never go for very long because otherwise you're looking at 50 an hour tops.
100%.
Yeah. Now, as we're saying, you can't tour at the moment, but you can still create, you can still perform in a way. And you did perform in the Delivered Live with a whole bunch of artists. That was amazing. How was that experience? What was that like?
It was so much fun. I think it was, it was probably the shortest gig we've ever done. And it was in and out. So there were very strict rules and guidelines and procedures of how the whole thing was working and, what we were allowed to do. And there was no hanging around like you would normally at a normal venue or a normal gig or a festival.
Yep.
So it was sort of in, play the gig and get out.
Bang, out again. Wow.
And actually, when we came home, I was sort of, I think, that 20-minute playing together, we hadn't seen each other for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And it just brought so much joy to all of us. Oh. And I certainly got, the big hype afterwards. And I sat up in bed watching the rest of the show.
Yeah, awesome.
As if I was at a festival still.
Yeah, well, from side stage.
Kicking back after the gig.
Hanging out in the green room, yeah.
Exactly. But it was, it was also strange because there's no audience in front of you. Yep. So you finish each song and you would normally expect some kind of acknowledgement in some way. Hopefully positive acknowledgement with applause. But, there was nothing, which is a little bit off-putting.
Yeah.
But I guess you just have to go, okay, it's kind of like doing an outdoor gig when you're on an outdoor stage.
Yeah.
You never really hear the applause very well, and if you let it get to you, it gets to you, and it, can shake you. But if you go in knowing that that's what's going to happen, it makes it a bit easier.
Yeah, nice. The other really cool thing that you guys did were you actually brought out a song called Stay Home. And I'd love to, if I can get my my little computer working here, I'd love to play a little bit of it for everyone. Here we go.
Yeah.
There's a sickness going round. You've probably heard them talking about the way you can't pass it to your friends when you stand too close to them, and you can share it through your hands, but this time sharing's not the plan. So keep your hands to yourself, and you could save somebody else. We've gotta stay in where we wanna go out. We gotta trust when we start to feel down. Wash our hands again when we just wanna sit down. If you need to cry, let it all out.
I love this song. This is so cool. You guys did such a good job of this, and great harmonies as well. It's a banger. How was that experience putting that together? You're obviously all in isolation or social distancing, whatever we want to call it. How did you manage to put all that together?
Well, we had a lot of, our sort of shtick is that we like to write songs for kids and families that have a usefulness to them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is very much in line with that. And we had quite a few people contact us over the last few weeks saying, can you write a song about what's going on that can sort of help explain what's going on. So, and that was, that's in the same way that people have contacted us about lots of other song themes that we've covered on, the last two albums and also on this most recent album that we just made. They're all really suggestions that, parents and carers and educators have come up with and suggested to us, and then we've written the songs. So this was another example of that, where people were saying, "Can you have a go at writing something?" And look, credit where credit's due. Bill wrote this song, and 100% on her own. And when she sent it to myself and Tom, our manager, I was floored, like so many other people have been also, because it was just brilliant.
It's great. Yeah.
The way that she's put the words together, and just all of it was. And it's great, when you're collaborating with someone and you have sort of like a creative partner and they come up with something so great that you're just like, well, this is cool.
Yeah.
And it gives you a bit of a motivation kick of going, I better come up with something good too.
Oh, geez.
Sort of, creates a little bit of competition, which is always good. It's always healthy.
So you both write?
We do. And we mostly write together, but we do. But there are also our times where we come up with, songs on our own. Yeah. And things always change slightly when we collaborate on them together, like anything. But, I was so impressed when she sent this song over to me. And then it was really, me just coming up with a couple of, accompanying parts to go with hers. And then it was a total nightmare trying to record
Oh, no.
separately with, you would think that it would be easy, just recording something acoustically in one take, but it's just so hard getting, every lyric right and every sort of bit of phrasing and inflection correct.
Yep.
And if you get something wrong, you have to do the whole thing again. And then there's the editing part, which luckily we didn't do, but that was hours upon hours trying to get it all in sync together. So,
jeez. Well, good on you for sticking with it and not going, no, too hard, don't worry about it. We'll just wait till this is all over and then we'll bring it out.
It was definitely worth it.
Absolutely. Do you think, and you just said briefly there that there's a third album on the way. Is that finished and sort of in the can? Is it too late to slip this one in on that album? Or
it probably is too late.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually made this third album at the end of last year.
Right.
So it's been ready to go for a while now. And actually a couple of weeks ago we brought out a single called Good for Your Health.
Yeah.
Which is a song about personal hygiene. It was just going to be one of the songs on the album that was going to be released later this year. Yeah. But we sort of thought, this would be crazy not to make this available at this time. So yeah, again, that was a suggestion that someone made, at the start of last year when we were collecting ideas for song themes. But apart from that song, the first single that we originally chose to come out from the kids' album will be coming out very soon in the next couple of weeks. So that's very exciting. Okay. And it's got a beautiful animation to go with it.
Let's go back to the beginning, and I'm sure there's a story you've told a million times. The Teeny Tiny Stevies kind of came about when Bill got pregnant. Your international touring started looking kind of a little impractical, I guess. And it's sort of going, all right, what else can we do? And then, boom, here it comes the Teeny Tiny Stevies. Is that kind of in a nutshell?
Yeah, I guess so. We, as you said, we've been performing as the Little Stevies for years. We started that band when we were teenagers. So it's been going for a really long time, and we've done such amazing things with the Little Stevies. We've done, multiple overseas tours, lots of festivals and conferences, just done so much touring and had so many great opportunities. But as you said, Bill, got pregnant with her first child, and just sort of pursue that overseas trajectory of touring requires a lot of commitment and a lot of money. So sort of it did seem a little bit impractical at that time going forward. So we sort of kind of had to diversify really. And like anyone, when they're sort of going through life with any career, when you sort of, you have to stop and reflect sometimes and go, okay, can we keep doing this? Is this going to work for us in the long term? Is it not? Yeah. How are we going to diversify? How are we going to continue to make ourselves employable? Yeah. I mean, it's really boring language to use, but it's true. Oh, yeah. And I guess they're all the same questions no matter what industry you're working in that you have to sort of ask yourself. And they're tough questions to ask yourself as well and answer. And particularly also when you're working with a group, because each person's got slightly different priorities.
You've got your own life
and different
going on.
Personal goals. Yeah, exactly. So that's how it started.
Oh, that's great. And so now we're looking at, 3 albums, I guess, down, that one coming very, very soon. You've been nominated for an ARIA. You've been picked up by the ABC, and what a powerhouse, ABC Kids and all that is. It's just amazing. It's such a great resource. You've got all these beautifully animated film clips, and recently, I believe Sesame Street took notice of these awesome clips and you guys, your writing, your style, and then said, Sesame Street has said, hey, Teeny Tiny Stevies, help us out with our online kids video channel and come and write for us. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. That was a little while ago now, it feels.
Right.
That seems like ages ago.
Forever ago.
But it probably wasn't. It was probably only a year ago or so. But yeah, I think they sort of took notice of us because of our song Baby in My Tummy.
Right.
And we ended up writing a song for them that was animated by someone else from their team about sibling rivalry. We got a choice actually between a few themes that we could write about, and we thought sibling rivalry was perfect for us.
Yeah.
So we did, and it was a really fun song.
God, that's
really
so
good.
Cool.
Very different approach though, like to writing for someone else essentially than writing for yourself. So quite different in terms of you writing a song and calling all the shots creatively. In terms of lyrics and musically, that's quite different to then doing it for someone else and kind of writing to a brief when they know exactly what they want. And it's just, like any circumstance where you might have slightly differing opinions on that, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You need to write to the brief. And so that was a great experience in itself anyway.
Cool.
Yeah, it really sort of worked that muscle.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk a little bit more about your music and a few of the big songs from the albums. Useful songs for little people, helpful songs for little people. As you say, it's chock-a-block full of stuff it's like practical stuff that kids will be able to sort of use in their sort of everyday lives. I have a few of the big ones that I want to talk to you about, but do you have a favourite song, whether it be because it's fun to perform or how it came about or lyrically?
Oh, gosh. I don't think I do. No, I think
They're like your children. You can't sort of pick between them. They're all loved equally.
I know. They're all fun.
Yeah, good. Oh, that's great that you feel that way about them.
Going, they're all just good. So I genuinely, I listen to helpful songs, which is the second album particularly, and I just go, yeah, they're all great. I feel very proud, and I do with the first one as well. But I guess the first album was still a little bit experimental in terms. It was the first time we'd done it, and I guess there was still a tiny little element of doubt, I guess, that we sort of, but I guess by the time we did the second one, we were like, no, we can do this really well. We do this really well. And so I think, our confidence levels just, bloomed a bit more. Right. And then on this third one, I just feel so proud about this third album. Like and I'm so excited to have it available for everyone to listen to, because I just, I've been listening to it for months now, on my phone with my son, and seeing the way that he's responded to all the songs as well. And I just feel so proud of all of them. They're really good.
Good on you.
They're great. And yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great to hear. A few of the ones that sort of, that I really like, and these are a few of the sort of the big ones, Boss of My Own Body. Super great song. It's important to have a chat about, in our house, it's, body boundaries, guys, body boundaries. Sometimes I can even use it against the kids because they will come and just punch me in the butt as hard as they can. And I'll be like, come on, body boundaries, to try and save myself. Boss of My Own Body, of course, a great message. Was this something that you guys thought was a good idea, or was this something that sort of the people around you had sort of come to you and said, no, you should do a song about this?
I think this was also one of the themes that a lot of people suggested, that people were sort of crying out for something to be written about. And, I think some of the themes and some of the topics, when you just say them out loud, like body autonomy, you sort of go, oh, gosh. Well, you might think to yourself, it's a bit scary to sort of approach or whatever. But really it doesn't have to be. And I think that we've achieved that really well, to sort of write in a relatable way that kids of all ages can understand, and sort of have it just act as a conversation starter, really. Because that's sort of what the songs are all about. It's not, they're not necessarily, trying to educate really deeply on things. It's just sort of to bring particular themes up and make them, okay to talk about, and more accessible to talk about within a household and within families. Hopefully we've done that.
I think you definitely have. I Ate a Rainbow, another one, which I think is great, encouraging kids basically to just eat a great variety of things and all sorts of different stuff. How do you guys go with the 2-year-old at feeding time?
Oh, look, there's a lot of negotiation.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure if I videoed myself trying to negotiate with a 2-year-old of like, just, come on, just eat, please.
That'd be great content for the Facebook page. Let's see that.
I know. I would just feel so embarrassed watching it as from an outsider looking in. But sometimes it works. Sometimes he's great, and sometimes he's super picky. So look, I wish it's like anything. I wish when you have all the little wins, you're like, oh, I'm so good at this. I'm so good at parenting.
Yeah.
and then something starts not going quite right, and you're like, oh gosh, I'm terrible at this. I don't know what to do.
We've had a bit of everything in our place. Our firstborn started great, continued great. Our secondborn really tough the whole way through. Our third started great, and then in the last sort of 12 months has been just terrible.
Oh no!
So
my gosh, you've got 3.
Yeah,
that just must be so busy.
it is busy. It's busy, but dinner time. I think every night now, Ash and I sort of look at each other and go, "All right, here we go."
You've got to brace yourself.
Let's do this.
Like, give yourself a pep talk before you go into it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's hard. We find it. How hard do you go on the dinner time? We always find that where do you sort of go? Oh, it's all right. Don't worry about it. Just.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, you can just have toast.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing in our household. He knows where the bread is. He knows where the toast is. That's what he wants. So, and he's stubborn, so he'll just keep asking for it.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be an ongoing thing. And of course, I really like On the Toilet.
Oh yeah.
And I think if I heard this song pre-kids, I'd be like, what? But the lyric of "I only go to the toilet on the toilet" when you're a parent just makes so much sense.
Totally. Well, it's all about simplifying the message, isn't it?
But because you find yourself saying that to the kids, like, no, you got to go to the toilet on the toilet. Yeah. It's kind of, yeah.
I know. We have not started toilet training yet, and I'm desperately hoping that some of our songs will actually help with our personal experience. I have a fear that maybe they won't. But I'm really hoping that they do.
I hope they do as well, because I'm not going to lie to you. I get a lot of joy out of a lot of parts of parenting. Toilet training, I'm afraid, is not one of them.
No, look, I'm not looking forward to it, if I'm being honest.
Especially in Canberra at this time of the year, if you've got like sort of a bit of bedwetting going on, and then trying to wash it and dry it.
Is it just so cold there at the moment?
It starts getting chilly, and then nothing dries, and anyway, the joys.
What a nightmare.
Washing, it's
nightmare.
A thing. Yeah, but I keep my fingers crossed for you that works. But how wonderful must that feel when you have parents coming to you going, "Please, Teeny Tiny Stevies, write a song about this, because you are a trusted source for education for our kids, and if you write a song about that, that's going to help me." That must feel great.
Yeah, it is cool, actually. And we do get so many people writing to us, and just like a really vast, group of people writing to us, giving such positive feedback, which is so amazing. And every time someone writes to us, if they just write a message, or if they send in a video or a photo of their kids listening to us or singing along with us, it really is just so validating. That we're doing a good thing, and we're doing something worthwhile with our time and with our skills. Awesome. So that's great, and that's all any of us really want, isn't it? We just want to feel like what we're doing is useful and worthwhile, and not necessarily just for us, but so you're helping other people around you, and sort of being a little bit selfless on some level.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It must be really rewarding. Well, Beth, I won't hold on to you for much longer. I'll let you go. But it's great to hear you smiling and feeling positive and feeling really excited about this new music coming out. We'll definitely keep an ear out for that at our place and give it a really good bashing when it comes out, when it all comes out.
Oh, do play it loud.
We will, yeah. I mean, not that the neighbours need to hear more from us at the moment, but we definitely will. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of time out. And
I loved it. Can we keep going? I mean, I'm happy to keep going.
Got another half hour up your sleeve?
Oh, yeah, I could go for another 2.
Then I might start getting in trouble from my wife for not helping out. Beth from the Teeny Tiny Stevies, thank you so much for having a chat to us. Look after yourself. We look forward so much to having you guys back at the Canberra Theatre Centre very soon, because we did have you booked in. It was a sellout at the Playhouse.
Yeah, I know. It will still be massive. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. We can't wait. We really can't wait.
The rescheduled date for that Teeny Tiny Stevies show here at the Canberra Theatre Centre is Saturday, 17 October in 2020. It's going to be awesome. Make sure you get along and check out the show. It's going to be brilliant. Thank you so much, Beth.
Thanks so much, Joe.
Bye.
See ya.